Hi, and welcome back to Shares for Beginners. Today, I want to talk about investment newsletters. There's lots and lots of newsletters out there that, they purport to be able to help you to become better investors, better stock pickers, and some are better than others. Some are offering different kinds of methodologies to help you to become a better investor. But today I'm pleased to be welcoming from the Investment Newsletter Group, someone who's tracking these, Simon Shepherd. Hello, Simon.
Hi, Phil. How you going?
Good, thanks. Thanks very much for coming on and talking about this. Now, it's a really interesting area, isn't it? Because I'm sure many viewers and listeners they get bombarded with ads and marketing for different kinds of newsletters. Now, many of them are going to be trading newsletters, aren't they? Where there's promises that if you take up a bit of, technical analysis and follow those charts, that you're going to be able to outperform the market or even become a day trader, which, let's face it, it's pretty dangerous for people. But what you're looking at are newsletters that do have a bit of a track record and are a bit more solid in the information that they're giving. So anyway, over to you. A brief overview of the Investment Newsletter Group and what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Phil. You mentioned those sort of day trading courses and maybe technical analysis courses, whatever, and 10 minutes a day and you can be a millionaire, and the guy's usually doing a selfie from a beach in Dubai or Tahiti or something. And I would call those systems black box systems. They may work. I mean, everybody has different experiences, of course. But what we focus on is the more traditional newsletters where they help you build your own portfolio. They don't do it for you. Some of them do have, what they call model or custom portfolios, which I can talk about if time permits down the track. But there is, as you say, there's a wealth of providers out there of investment ideas. Our focus in particular is looking at generally newsletters that focus on individual share recommendations for the Australian share market, maybe New Zealand shares as well. And we found that they all have different ways of measuring performance if they even bother to provide that information. So it's really hard to know without putting your money on the line whether or not they're actually going to beat the market. So going back nearly 4 years ago now, we started tracking 9 of those higher profile newsletters and a sample portfolio for each of those 9 services to see whether or not that sample would actually beat the market. And so we formed the Investment Newsletter Group around that. We run a website portal which first and foremost tracks and ranks the performance of the 9 newsletters, and there's also an educational hub.
And the term newsletter, of course, it's a bit of an archaic term, really, isn't it?
It is.
They're very much more web-based these days. In the old days, you would get an email news, or you'd get a newsletter in the post. Yeah, that's a physical one. But these are much more available on the web as well. Now, so the kind of things that you're looking at, you can set up a dummy portfolio, can't you? And track what these are doing. Do you use Sharesight for tracking the dummy portfolio?
Great question. So we use Sharesight. I have been personally for a long time as well, and also in the financial planning side of my business, we recommend that for clients for tracking their own portfolios. We built these portfolios in Sharesight. We rebalance and review them at the end of every month. We publish roughly quarterly results in ranking of how those sample portfolios have done. As a side note, we've even got some of our own family money in our super in a combination of portfolios as well, because I've done all this work. Why wouldn't I be wanting to benefit personally? It's a free service, right? So I think the more benefit I can get and the more benefit subscribers can get, the better. And so the idea is, do these services beat the market, right? We can't obviously cover 1,000 stocks of every service or whatever that number might be with the resources resources that we have, nor would you have 1,000 shares in your portfolio anyway. And then it's a very simple ranking system. It's like an Olympic medal, gold, silver, or bronze. Only one service is ever awarded the gold, which means they're obviously beating the market, but also beating all the other services that are in our universe that we cover.
And it's not that you're trying to pick stocks that are going to shoot the lights out, are you? It's basically really comes back to having a long-term portfolio that you can start adding companies into that are going to perform well in the long term. It's not something where you're going to go, oh, I'm going to pick this company and I'm going to triple my money in 2 weeks' time, is it? It's nothing like that. This is for a construction portfolio tool.
Exactly, that's exactly right. So it isn't. We're not looking for the 10 bagger or the 20 bagger, so to speak. 10 or 20 times your money. For those not used to that term, but it's really a foundational portfolio construction tool. As I said, there's so many out there. Where do you start? We try to cover a variety of different styles, investment styles, and sort of approaches because, as I've said on past chats with you, the people have different ways of thinking, different ways of processing mental accounting. Some people are visual, some people are numerical, some people believe in value, which is buying undervalued companies in the hope that the market revalues them at some point. Some people more believe in high quality momentum. There's so many different styles. So we try to have a blend across the universe that we cover. But the idea is exactly that. You're going to build a well-diversified portfolio, ideally that doesn't have massive turnover, because if that happens, there's a couple of reasons that could be a problem. One is transaction costs can eat away at the turnover, the tax structure, right? You could be paying taxes depending on what structure you hold the portfolio in, and that might be a conversation for the financial planning side of things at some point. So we generally look for portfolios or services that are reasonably low turnover. Again, there's a range within what we cover. For example, Marcus Today newsletter, which is beating the market, tends to be higher turnover. You need to be more hands-on with that. So therefore, you've got to watch things like transaction costs, your brokerage and what tax structure you're in, versus something like an Intelligent Investor or a Motley Fool, which are much more buy, hold, and less regular rebalancing. Again, there's no right or wrong. Our determinant is, are they beating the market, right? And then you work backwards from there in terms of what style might suit you. And so the idea with the website and the portal is to help you make that starting point without you having to go into all that work yourself or even put money into a service that may not give you the results that you're looking for.
So you've mentioned 3 of them. Who are the 9?
So the 9 are Stockopedia, Marcus Today, Deep Data Analytics, Motley Fool, Intelligent Investor, which is also part of the Eureka Report group, Simply Wall Street, Fat Profits, Morningstar, and Wise Owl, which is a very, very small cap focused newsletter. So, yeah, and as I said, we've been tracking most of those for just coming up on 4 years, and about 5 days will be our 4-year anniversary. So, enough of a data set to get a feel for whether these serve, whether it's luck or skill, right, in terms of their philosophy and approach. And what's been interesting is mostly the ones that started at the top of the podium, so to speak, the better performers have tended to be there through that 4-year period. So I think the longer we do it, the more subscribers can have confidence that, well, there must be something that Stockopedia or Marcus Today or Deep Data Analytics is doing right. And so that narrows your choices down. Great, you've already got a funnel. Here's 3 on my shopping list. I'll now go do a trial subscription. Or like you said, like I'll go paper trade for a year, or paper invest, because we don't trade, paper invest and see how things go. So yeah, hopefully that helps people make those decisions.
And the user experience is very different with each of these, isn't it? It's so like true. Some of them require you to create a filter, for example, or create your own criteria. So you approach it, and you do have to have a little bit of a learning curve to use them, whereas others will spit out some information and recommendations quite quickly. How do you think it's best for investors who might not have much experience at all, without recommending any one over the other, but what's the kind of experience that a new investor would be looking for to help them learn more at the same time as becoming a better investor?
Yeah, I think the answer is it depends, right? I'd probably answer the question with a question. It's kind of what is your thinking approach? How do you process information? If you want completely simple, like a narrative style recommendation, then there's one set of newsletters that would do that, which is literally, here's the stock we like and here's the range at which you should try to buy it, for example. That's one end. But if you're an analytical person and you like number crunching and building your own things, so to speak, may not mean that you have experience in investing, but you might just be good with numbers. Then tools like Stockopedia or simply Wall Street are a lot more of that filter-based approach, where there's thousands of different ways you can crunch numbers and feed it through your funnel, depending on what your investment preferences are. So again, there's a great range out there, and the trick is to try to fit it to your personality. And if you're not sure, then try a couple, right, of different styles, paper trade for a while, paper invest, and then see which one sort of resonates. Because at the end of the day, two things have to happen for this to be financially successful for you. One is you have to find a process that is robust and does perform better than the market through various cycles. And two is you've got to be able to stick to it when it isn't, in order to earn those returns. And so in our view, the best way to do that is find one that matches your style and personality. It's a bit like, analogy I use is exercise or fitness, right? There's so many different ways people can exercise and get fit. Some people can't stand going to the gym and they love going for a run in the park. Other people, the complete opposite. It doesn't really matter what you do. The trick is to do it, repeat it, turn up, and know that you're going to get the results over time because you're putting the work in. So that's sort of the analogy I like to use.
So someone who goes to the investment newsletter group, which is, what's the website, tinglive.com.au?
Yep, TING, the acronym, the investment newsletter group. So it's Ting Live, one word, tinglive.com.au.
And they will be able to get a bit more of a feel from this rather than having to go to each of them themselves.
Yeah. So on our landing page, if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see our quarterly reports. You can download that. It's just a nice one-page PDF, and it's literally very visually simple. Just got gold, silver, and bronze, showing which newsletters are beating the market and or beating each other. And that's a starting point. And then there's other tabs as well. There's a tab that has like a matrix of the main product features or product set for each of those services that we cover. So again, it saves you trawling through 10 different pages in the individual service website to figure out, how many stocks are covered and what styles can I use and so on and so forth. So the idea is we're trying to give subscribers those initial tools to get started quicker. And then we also have an educational blog as well. So interviews like what we're doing today, we post all that stuff on the blog. So there's a whole bunch of stuff there that people can use.
Fantastic, Simon. It's a great service, and I think it's highly recommended to anyone who wants to start their investing journey, because it's always hard when you start out by yourself, isn't it? You want to have someone to help you, someone to help you and hold your hand a little bit. So, Simon, thanks very much.
It can be a very lonely journey. My pleasure.
That's right.
Thanks, Phil.
Okay. Thank you.